Hi everyone, this is my contest entry for Andrew Bellina. Andrew Bellina is a fellow who lives in Australia and is having his own contest on his personal channel right now. I'm not sure what the deadline is for this contest, so I hope I'm not too late, but I wanted to make a video for it. He is offering DVD prizes, I believe, and what he asked for the videos is that as a participant, you talk a little bit about a series that you own. Could be books, could be movies, could be a television series, I suppose. Any series, complete series that you own. And I just happen to have an excellent, fantastic series that I would love to talk about. A series of novels by an author that I admire very, very much. The late, great Douglas Adams, author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the Dirk Gently novels. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was a radio show in England originally, and then he took the teleplays from those radio shows and turned them into the first couple of books in the series, and then continued on with the characters. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the storyline, but for those of you who aren't, it's about Arthur Dent, a human, and Tricia McMillan, also human, who are swept away from the planet Earth right before it gets demolished to make way for a hyperspace express route by an interstellar construction company. And they have them and a few of their extraterrestrial friends roam around the galaxy on various misadventures, very comical. It's sort of an affectionately silly look at the world that we live in, but set in space, basically. A lot of sort of human foibles are demonstrated through alien beings. For example, there's an alien race that has over 50 arms apiece, and they're unique in being the only race in history to invent the aerosol deodorant before the wheel. And there's a lot of really great throwaway gags like that. I read this book for the first time. It was a gift from my aunt. I read this book for the first time when I was about 12 or 13, possibly 11, and I guess that's the perfect time to do it because within the first 2 seconds I was laughing my butt off. It was great. Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at roughly 90 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea. And there's lots of little diversions and detours throughout the whole series. This is a fantastic book, and it did get made into a film. Perhaps not a terribly good one, but it didn't matter to me how good or bad it was. It was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I was going to see it no matter what. The second book in the series is Restaurant at the Inner Universe. I think this book is even funnier than Hitchhiker's because they go to a restaurant and it actually is at the end of the universe. It's forward all the way at the end of the universe when the universe is destroying itself and you get to watch it blow up while you're eating your dinner. Apparently you're protected by some very strong force fields there. There's a lot of other stuff going on in there, but that's a really fun book. The third book in the series is Life, the Universe, and Everything. They have to deal with a whole bunch of aliens, a particular race of aliens that want to destroy the entire civilization of the galaxy. They have to stop it, something like that. But of course there's a lot of comical goofiness that goes on as well. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish is the return of Arthur to the planet Earth, but it's a different version of Earth because the original version was destroyed and dealing with that stuff. He eventually goes back out into space again, and we have, of course, the final book in the series called Mostly Harmless. Those were the books on Arthur Dent and his friends that Douglas Adams wrote. He died, unfortunately, in 2001. He only got to write 2 Dirk Gently novels, and I think was starting on a third or at least he had written some material on it. And you can read material on those books as well. There's a sort of a compilation of various essays and stuff that he'd written over the years, and I've read that as well. But this is a terrific series. Lots of really funny stuff in there, just very, very creative. Really, really miss having him around. Also, I'd like to mention that I actually got to meet Douglas Adams one time. He came to Chicago for a book signing. He and Terry Jones from Monty Python had co-written a computer game and a novel to go along with it, and so they were there for the signing. And one of my favorite moments in all my life is getting a chance to tell a joke to Douglas Adams and actually make him laugh after he made me laugh so many times. I walked to the table with my book, and I had him sign it, and I said, "Thank you very much, Mr. Adams," and I took the book and I walked away, and then Terry Jones goes, don't you want me to sign that as well?" And I said, oh, yes, of course, please. I handed it to him. I said, I'm sorry. I've been a fan of his for, 10, 15 years. I've never heard of you. And Douglas Adams puts his arm around Terry Jones and goes, I'll buy you a beer later. So that was great. Getting to meet him and making him laugh, that was fantastic. And that's a fantastic book series. Any Douglas Adams book, I think, is a good one. Well worth a read. But the Hitchhiker series, of course, is my favorite. So, yes, that's my entry for Andrew Bellina. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy.